Hello everybody, welcome to Aquarium Talk 02. This is the first video on this channel. I'm going to go over a few things. I'm going to tell you how to set up a tank, how to make a tank balanced, and how to make it into a little ecosystem, how to have a tank with almost zero maintenance, and also just for the beginners, just some overall tips. So have fun watching. This is my 20-gallon long tank. It's been set up for about a year and it's super balanced. It's I really like a small ecosystem. I have all kinds of species in here, like black skirt tetras, fire tetras, weird algae eater with that doesn't really have a species name. I've got a lot of shrimp in here. I've got some yellow ones, I've got some red ones, and here I have a little Anchistrus blacko. He's cute. I have some dwarf algae eaters as well. I have some mudfish here. Oh, there he swam. So yeah, quite a lot of species inside of such a small tank. Now this tank has gone over a process that I call balancing for about a year now. And I would say for all you beginners, just please take it slow. The slower you take it, the better your setup will be, the less money you will spend. Really, believe me, I know the pain. It's a pain in the ass to wait to add fish to your tank and stuff like that. Of course, I know. I've been through it. I've been through it many of times actually, and it's always a pain in the ass. But you can fast it up a little bit, so add some bacteria and stuff like that. I never do any of that. I don't add bacteria. I don't even add aqua safe or stuff like that. That's because the water here is really good. So if you live in an area with like chlorine in the water and stuff, please use the chlorinizer like Aqua Fresh or stuff like that. Right here, I don't add anything because the tap water here is great. It is quite high in pH. It's around 7.5, so that's good for an aquarium. The species that live in here are all good on that pH, and yeah, so that's good. What I would say to balance the tank, just take the time, add fish very slowly, add a lot of plants, wait for a lot of plant growth, wait for some algae growth. I always have algae on the back of my tank, on the sides of the tank, and on everything else. I never clean the algae because if you clean it in one place, it grows back in another place. That's what I have seen and I've had a lot of times. I never clean the back of the tank for two reasons. One, the fish, I have a lot of algae eaters in here. They love the algae, the shrimp as well, and because it takes away a lot of nutrients. So never take away the algae from the back of your aquarium. That's a big tip. What I would also say is have a nice cleanup crew. So I have some, what do you call? I just call them mudfish, but what are they called? Coolie loaches. Yeah, they're called coolie loaches, and these are actually black coolie loaches. I just bought them because I think they look a little bit more natural. Of course, I know the nice striped coolie loaches are found in the wild as well, but I don't know. I just like the look of the black coolie loaches. I've got two in there, drew from them in there. That's for the bottom part of the tank, and great cleanup crew. I have the dwarf algae eaters. I have like the little Anchistrus pleco. I've got all of the shrimp, so that is a big cleanup crew. That's also a big reason because why I don't have a lot of algae in this tank either. So cleanup crew is always good. For a 20-gallon tank, I'd just say go with some little tetras. Go with some lamp eye fish that I have in here, like just tiny fish that don't go after your shrimp or after your cleanup crew. And don't put in fish that could live in a 20-gallon tank. No, I wouldn't do it. Even live bearers. I mean, guppies, they're great. You can make a guppy tank. And you could do that, but if you really want like a balanced tank like this with some shrimp and stuff like that, like really a little ecosystem, I wouldn't recommend live bearers like guppies, platies, or mollies. They're really like fast and yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it. Of course, if you like them, you could, but then just don't put in shrimp and stuff like that. And they are a big cleanup crew, so they help, and they just don't go with guppies and other life bearers. What I do to maintain populations of the shrimp, and I don't want them to like explode explode. I have a few the black skirt tetras, 3 black skirt tetras. They were from another tank. I put them in there, and I was actually scared that they would hunt my entire shrimp colony to death. But actually, it keeps it in balance. I have seen it 2 times that one of my black skirt tetras ate a shrimp, like a whole shrimp. It's only the biggest one, and I'm sure that the other 2 smaller ones eat shrimp here and shrimp there, but that's not a problem because it keeps it in balance. So what I'd say, have some predatory fish in there that kind of keep the balance in your tank as well. So right now we've talked about the algae on the back and the sides of your aquarium crates to allow it to take the nutrients, the excess nutrients. A lot of plants, that's also great for keeping the nutrients down and really nice for the fish that live in your tank and the other things that live in your tank. Now I want to talk about the filter. I have a really normal filter in here. It's like just a little inside filter. And I rarely clean it because a lot of the beneficial bacteria are in this filter. You don't want to clean out the filter at all, in my opinion. Only if it's really like clogged and stuff like that. And of course, a lot of the rotting stuff is going to be in that filter as well. But if your tank is very balanced, that doesn't really matter. The nutrients will be taken by the algae and by the bacteria that are in the filter. And I think it is better to just keep it sitting there than to get it out, because when you clean your filter, you'll swap out a lot of bacteria as well. So it's kind of like, doesn't really matter. You could clean it sometimes so a lot of the rotting stuff is away, but I would say, like, if you want to keep it low maintenance, why would you? Because it's really unnecessary. And yeah, in my opinion, it's better to not do that too often. Also, don't do water changes too often because it's not necessary if your tank is balanced. I'm gonna show my tank once again to kind of talk about things that I've done in this tank to make it look very natural and why I like it. So I just did a water change, which is kind of ironic because I rarely do. This tank before today hasn't had a water change in 2.5 months, and that's actually not that long. One time it hadn't had a water change in like the same period of time, and you know, it could have been without a water change in much longer than the 2.5 months. I am 100% sure about that. But because of the wood and the tannins that are coming from the leaves, I like to give it a big water change once in a while to keep the water look super crispy. I always put a little sand bed on my gravel. Here you can see I have made a big hill with this gravel, simple, cheap gravel. I put a little sand bed on it, and I think it makes the tank look much more natural. Some rock work, a lot of plants. Look, it's kind of hiding the filter right there. So I really like the algae in the back as well for the natural look. And the shrimp are just making this tank. Like, this is actually a combination of a red cherry shrimp and a little yellow shrimp. And this came out of that. This is, I really like it because it looks super natural, and actually it is much better camouflaged against the top predators in this tank, the black skirt tetras. They're like little piranhas, really. Well, yeah. So I hope you guys have learned something from this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more. I've got a saltwater setup right here as well. And I'll make a video about that too, because it is super low maintenance and also very low cost for a saltwater tank. I'll go over that one time. If you want to see that, and if you're interested in more videos, I will post random stuff every once in a while, I guess. So peace out and subscribe to my channel if you want to. Bye bye.